What's up guys, Fury TV here, and we're back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos on a daily basis.
Need a drink after all this.
Bob says he needs a drink after that one.
Look at it, it's on Bob again. He's got a 4-8 of clubs.
He is one of a kind, the Polish Maverick. Poker players nickname him the Mayor. He once ran for the mayor of Las Vegas. He didn't win, but poker players still call him the Mayor.
Bob passes.
He can play anything, but he's not going to play that one. Andy Block's got an ace-8. And look at this. He's going to raise it with an ace-8 offsuit, Mike.
Comes in for 18,000. Nice aggressive play right here.
Steve Skolnick is going away with a king-deuce. The Dragon.
Stephen
He folds.
Daniel passes.
Daniel with a 3-9 folds, and here comes Gus.
More.
Gus is calling him.
2.
Look at this. Gus has a deuce-4, and he's calling him.
Oh, yeah, that's a big hand for Gus.
This is unbelievable.
Here's the flop.
You call a raise with a deuce-4 offsuit.
9-8-5.
That amazes me.
Andy's got a pair of 8s out there.
And Andy checks.
But he's going to check.
Now they both check on the flop.
This card is a 10.
And he's still in front with the 8s. Look at his look, though. He's studying Gus.
Look at this.
He's going to bet.
18.
That's
Gus bets 18,000. Now remember, Gus has a deuce and a 4. Absolutely nothing. Again, a very tough call to make right here by Andy Block, and he has made it with
Andy
a pair
calls.
of 8s.
Andy knows this guy's M.O., and he knows he bluffs a lot.
Last card is a jack.
Now look at this. A jack comes off. Now that makes a 4-card straight out there. Jack 10, 9, 8. Now the action is on Gus again. Now Gus has absolutely nothing. A deuce and a 4.
Just say no, Gus. Just say no.
Now he has called a raise with a deuce and a 4. He has bet with a deuce and a 4. And now it's his turn again.
Well, this would show tremendous courage. I don't see how anyone can do it. Make a bet into this type of board.
Can you believe this guy's going to bet again? Gus does know it's the only way you can win this pot is to bluff. Now look at Andy. He's holding his head down. He doesn't even want to see him bet here. He doesn't even want to see him bet.
Talk about courage. This is an amazing bet, whether he gets called or not.
36,000. Unbelievable right here. Now, you're at Andy. You got the 4th pair on the board right now with an open-end straight draw. I don't see how you can possibly call this bet.
I mean, Gus bets 36,000 with that board. I mean, it's like he's betting a luxury car there of real money, and he's going to win this pot, Mike.
Andy folds this. I'll tell you one thing. You have to admire Andy for calling on 4th Street there. But you certainly can't fault Andy for folding that hand. I don't think anybody could make a call right there when a guy fires 36,000 into that pot with a Jack 10, 9, 8 on the board. Unbelievable aggressive play by Gus Hansen. Vince, if
Andy Block is going to be in the hot seat, he's got to look at his cards first.
Peeks at an 8-10 offsuit. He folds.
Andy passes.
Oh, well, here it is. Steve has finally got a decent hand. He's got Queen 8 of hearts.
He's going to stand up now.
He stands up with the Queen 8 of hearts.
Yes, he is.
In honor of Umberto, all in.
There you go, all in. All in, like they do in Costa Rica. They stand up and they push their hands forward, and he slams his last 5,000 in chips. He bangs them in the center of the table.
Look at this. Everyone's going away, but Daniel's coming in with a pair of 7s. Now you got Gus still sticking around.
Come on, triple me up. Give me protection.
Gus Hansen has a 3 and a 5.
Just check.
He's in.
Steve Skolnick is all in. He's standing up.
This is very interesting, Mike. There is a side pot going on here. Now, Steve can only win what he's put in. But the rest of the guys, Gus and Daniel, have a side pot, and this pot could continue.
Steve all in.
And look at this flop. Oh, this is huge for Gus. He makes 3 of a kind.
Flop comes 10-3-3.
And he's checking and he's sandbagging here.
Check.
Now, Daniel checked 2 7s there.
On the turn.
A queen comes on the turn. Now look at Steve.
Well,
he hollers yell right here.
Do you like that,
Obviously,
queen?
the queen has hit him.
Yeah, he thinks he's won.
But in the meantime, this is totally unethical in that there's a side pot going. 2 guys have chips. Gus has flopped 3 3s. He's making a bet at this pot.
Uh-oh.
$12,000 bet.
Where's the side pot? Is this a side pot?
This is the side pot.
Daniel folds 2 sevens
Of course,
here.
yeah. Now, Steve thinks he's still won at this point.
So now they're going to turn up their hand. Still's turned up the queen. He thinks he's won the pot. Now he sees the 3 threes.
He knows it's over. It is over.
Steve Skolnick needs a queen. He doesn't catch it. He is out. But look at the look on Gus's face. Gus is not a happy camper that Steve jumped up and started screaming when the queen hit, because that ran his opponent out of the pot.
Oh, well. I moved up a spot.
Well, Steve Skolnick is going to take a ride back to Hollywood, and Gus Hansen is coming back strong.
This guy is amazing.
Daniel Rentzers got 9-6.
And he folds. And here comes Gus. He's going to raise on position, but he has a hand this time, Vince. He's picked up ace-queen on the button.
Andy Block's got an ace and a 4 in his hand. But he knows Gus likes to splash around. So that's why he's even thinking about calling his hand. But Andy's going to let this one go. Mr. Pham, it's up to you, sir. He has an ace-8 in his hand.
Now, he is the short stack here. He's seen Gus just continue to raise with nothing all the time. He's got to wonder if his ace-high is the best hand right here.
You know, the crazy thing is because Gus has been playing so ridiculously erratic, these guys are actually thinking to call with much less hands.
Moving in 49 more.
He's going for it.
Oh, this is huge for Gus. Gus has got a superior hand at this time.
Gus quickly calls him. David the Dragon has moved all in with ace-8.
And he's up.
And up against ace-queen.
Look at David. The tongue went out when he saw that. Doesn't like his position here.
He's going to have to get very lucky to win this pot.
The Dragon's going to need a miracle. Here we go. Flop comes deuce 3-5. No help to the Dragon. He needs an 8 to beat Gus, or he could tie if a 4 comes off.
A 7 comes off. Oh. David now has to catch an 8 or a 4, or he's out of this tournament.
You're right.
It's a key.
It's over. He's gone. It is over for Mr. Pham. 4th place. Picks up $80,000.
That's back-to-back knockout blows, Vince. Unbelievable.
Gus Hansen has done it. He has eliminated the Dragon. He is out of the tournament. Gus Hansen, a spectacular player. This guy just doesn't play by the book, Mike.
It amazes me where Gus Hansen gets some of these moves. I mean, the way he just took out David Pham. Wow.
Incredible. You know, there really has been a revolution in the poker world, and a lot of that knowledge comes from books.
Welcome back to the LA Poker Classic at the Commerce Casino. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten. Let's get back to the action at the table right here on the World Poker Tour.
Okay, next hand's going to be on Daniel. Now, Daniel's got an interesting hand. He's got a 5-4 suited connector, both diamonds. He's just going to call, actually.
So he just calls.
Now, Mr. No Hand at all has a hand, and he's just calling. Andy's got 4-7.
We have a family pot.
Gus has got a pair of 9s. This guy mixes it up so beautifully. This time he doesn't raise.
Now that's amazing.
Let's take a look at the flop.
2 9s in first position. He does not raise with it.
6 deuce, rainbow.
Now the flop comes 10-6 deuce.
And now Gus is betting with his pair of 9s.
Gus bets 20,000.
And he's
Gus
gonna
leads
throw-
out, bets 20,000 here.
And he threw his hand away. And Daniel, with an inside straight draw, is going to call.
Daniel's got the chips. He knows if he catches a 3, maybe he can bust him. That's what he's dreaming about.
Next
Now he
card is
catches a 5. He makes a pair of 5s here.
Yes, he does. Gus with the 9s checks it.
Gus checks. Daniel bets
Look at the heart of this Daniel.
Now Daniel bets 20,000. Now this really puts Gus to the test right here. There's an overcard. He understands that he bet the flop. The guy called him. There's also a possible straight on the board.
He does not look intimidated at all by Gus. I mean, he's betting into a WPT champion. He's doing it very nonchalantly.
This is a tough call for Gus right here. Now, we can see his cards. That's the beauty of the World Poker Tour. We know his 2 9s are the best hand, but if you're sitting in that seat and the man called you on the flop when a 10 is out there, an overcard, and then you check and he bets on 4th Street, your 2 9s shrink up a little bit, Vince. And he calls it. What a nice call right here by Gus Hansen.
Excellent call. He had a feeling he's in front, and he is in front at this point. Here's the last card.
Last card, a queen.
Now, the last card off is a queen.
Gus checks. 9s. And it gets checked behind.
Gus turns up 2 9s.
Pocket
They
9s
win the
for
pot.
Gus.
That's a brilliant play by Gus Hansen, calling that hand down.
Daniel says
He's going to whittle away at this, Daniel.
2 9s are going to win this pot.
Nice playing right there by Gus Hansen again.
And here's
Van Patten.
Okay, Andy's the first to act here.
Well, this time he's got Jack 5, Jacks and 5s, and he's going out. Daniel's got a 10 queen offsuit, and he's going to raise it.
Daniel makes it 45,000.
And he's made a big bet here, 45,000. And now Gus with an ace-3 offsuit. Not the biggest of hands.
With an ace and a 3. Now, this is unorthodox poker. This would not be in the books, of course. But we've seen it time and time again. This World Poker Tour champion plays these kind of hands, raises with these hands, and look at this. He's doing it again. He's going to call it.
So right now we have 100,000 in the pot. We're going to have a flop here.
Let's see who gets lucky.
Gus has ace-3. Daniel has queen 10. And here comes a flop. It comes an ace.
Oh, yeah.
Ace-7-4. Daniel quickly comes in there and bets 40,000.
He's trying to steal this pot, but Gus has got a big hand. He's got the aces. Look at him checking it.
But he has a very weak kicker.
That's the second card.
The 3 is not a good card for his hand. Does he want to get involved with 2 aces with such a weak kicker when his opponent has come out and bet on the flop? Look, he takes a deep breath.
Now, Daniel's trying to say he has an ace with a bigger kicker. That's what he wants to make Gus believe. But, of course, we know he doesn't. We get to see his cards. He's only got a 10 queen in his hand. Gus has got the aces.
Well, Gus is thinking now, whew, did I really want to call this hand? With an ace and a 3. Now I've hit the ace, and now I still don't know what to do.
The thing is, Gus could lose all his money in this one hand. You play this wrong. And that's why table stakes, no-limit poker is so fascinating. Look at this. Gus is going to call it.
Gus has called him. And look at the look on Daniel's face. He's not too happy.
Oh, man.
He's bluffing. He only has a queen and a 10, remember.
That hurts inside. And here's the 4th street.
An 8 comes off. That's no help to either player.
Now, can Daniel continue to bet and try to bluff at this? He does.
He's bet 40,000. Now, that's not a very large bet into a pot that's nearly 200,000. And Gus picks up on it. Gus picks up on it quickly. He calls 40,000 very quickly there. Now, Daniel is sick now. He's bet at this pot twice.
The river card, deuce of hearts.
A deuce comes off. That's no help. Daniel knows that if he bets here, Gus is probably going to call him.
Go ahead, man. Check.
Essentially, Daniel's given up here. He surrendered. He says, okay, you got me. You called me down twice. I tried to bluff at this pot 3 times.
All right. Queen high.
You got me every time. Gus checks. Gus turns up the 2 aces, and he wins the pot.
Oh, it's a miserable look by Daniel, and I don't blame him. He tried to take a shot at this pot.
Queen 10.
And Gus takes the chip lead by winning this pot.
A pair of aces with a 3.
That's how it happened.
Right now, our current chip standing. Gus Hansen is the chip leader with about 570,000 in chips. Daniel's in second place with about 440,000. And Andy's in third place with about 350,000. It's anybody's game, Vince.
For Daniel, the dream is still alive.
And Gus has the button
Gus is going to take a look at his hand. He's got a 3-10 of clubs. Look at him. This guy doesn't know what throwaway means.
32,000.
He raises it with a 10-3.
Andy Block has picked up an ace and a 10. And that's a pretty good hand, 3-handed. Now, he'd really love to snag Gus at one of these big pots.
Well, he's trying him again. He's going to call him with the ace-10.
Battle of wits
Andy's
between
gonna
these two
call.
guys.
Daniel folds. He has an 8-5. So once again, we're going to have a pot between Gus and Andy. Andy doesn't know it, but he's in a dominating position. It's ace-10 versus 10-3.
Flop comes Jack, 5.
Sure
trade.
enough.
Oh,
Gus has flopped a 3.
he's got a little pair.
Now he just has the bottom pair.
Andy checks.
Andy checks, and Gus checks right
checks.
behind him.
4th street
Now a
comes
10?
up. Oh,
Now a 10 comes off. Now this gives Gus 2 pair, but it gives Andy a pair of 10s with an ace kicker. Andy has checked this card.
Yes, he has.
Gus has 2 pair, and he's reaching for chips.
Now, this is a potential disaster for Andy Block.
Yes, it is. This 10 could get him in big trouble here,
Gus
but
is
we'll
gonna
see.
bet 35,000.
Gus bets 35,000. Now Gus has 2 pair, 10s and 3s. Andy has an ace and a 10.
And look at this. He can't wait to get his
Andy
chips in
calls.
Well,
there.
I'd call too if I was him. He called for 35,000. He doesn't know the guy's got 10s and 3s.
Yeah, but even a jack beats you.
Well,
Here we go.
And now a
Last
3.
card. Oh,
and a 3
man.
comes off. Whoa.
Hallelujah
Jack
for
10-5.
Gus Hansen. He's just hit a full house on the last card.
I'll tell you, this is amazing.
Andy
And
checks.
Andy checks it.
Andy checks it.
Now, Andy's got 10s and 3s with an ace kicker.
Now, it doesn't look like this card could have hurt Andy's hand. Now, Gus is certainly going to bet. It's just a matter of how much.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a little acting job here.
140.
Well, here it is.
Gus bets
There it is. He's going to bet 140,000. He said 140,000 is a big bet right now, especially for Andy. More than half his stack will be going in this pot here.
Oh, he doesn't want to scare Andy away. He wants this call desperately.
Well, I'm telling you, if you're sitting in Andy's seat, you have a tough decision here. I mean, you really got to believe that your 2-10s with the ace kicker is the best hand. Remember, Gus didn't bet this flop when it come Jack 5-3. He bet when the 10 came on the turn. Now, the 10 was a good card for Andy because it gave him 2-10s with an ace kicker.
It's like he's putting Andy's head in a vice. This is a tough position to be in.
Andy Block is faced with a big, big decision right now in this tournament. Will he make a big laydown here, or will he call? What a nice bet by Gus here, 140,000. It looks like he's stealing the pot, you know.
Right.
If you're sitting in Andy's seat, you think, is this guy stealing? Did he have a draw on 4th Street?
Well, that's the great thing about Gus's game. It's so unpredictable. He's moving around so fast, you don't know when he has a hand or not.
I mean, you can really see the dilemma Andy is in here. And believe me, folks, he is in a dilemma.
$500,000 for the first prize here, over $500,000.
I mean, we know he doesn't have the best hand, but I can tell you, if you're sitting in Andy's seat, you got to think 2-10s with an ace kicker. The way this hand was played is probably the best hand. This will be a big, big laydown if he makes this laydown.
Look
He's
at
not
this.
making it. He's calling.
He
He's
has
going to
to
call
call.
it.
He's not going to like it either.
Andy says call.
Andy Block is called.
Oh,
Gus turned up the full house.
that's got to be a brutal feeling for Andy Block.
Yeah.
Though you didn't see much emotion, you know he's feeling it inside. Stomach churning. You know something? It would have been a great laydown, but how do you make that kind of laydown?
You know, Gus raised this pot with a 10 and 3. Right
Seven
now, Andy's
stacks
saying to
are gonna
himself,
move over
you
to
know, if I'd have
Gus.
re-raised right there, I could have won the pot right there.
Andy now.
But it's not slowing Andy down. Looks like he's coming back and raising. He's got an ace-8 offsuit here.
30,000.
He's going to make it
And he is.
30,000.
Renewed confidence. Here he goes. Daniel Rentzer. It's going to be up to him. He's got a 3 and a 6.
Set up for that last hand, are you? What hand?
Well, Vince, Andy may pretend like he's forgotten about that last hand, but you know it's still flashing through his mind like a bad dream.
This is true.
What hand? No.
Daniel's been kind of quiet lately, but he's going to throw this one away.
Well, he's stepping out of the way and letting these two guys clash, that's for sure.
Now, Gus Hansen has a pretty good hand for him. A king and a jack offsuit.
He's got a code jack.
Look at the look on Andy. Frustrated from that last beat.
Now it's 20,000 more for him to call.
I'm all in.
Gus says
He's
I'm
all in. He says he's all in.
What?
Gus Hansen has gone all in. And look, Andy doesn't even hesitate. I'm amazed Andy put his money in there that quick with ace-8 offsuit.
I think Gus is even shocked he did.
King Jack for Gus.
He just fired it in there with ace-8, and
Gonna
it turns
count the
out
chips?
he has the best hand.
When you talk about a little frustration, I think he's just hot under the collar. He's calling quickly. How many times have we seen this on the World Poker Tour? A guy takes a bad beat, and the next hand he plays awfully aggressive. He is in front at this point, though.
He is. He's about a 60% favorite to win this pot. When we come back from commercial, we'll see if he's going to hold up and double up and get back in this tournament, or if Andy Block will be our third-place finisher. Don't come back. And Vince, right now, Andy Block is all in. He's either going to double up or be out of this tournament. He's the favorite. He's about a 60% favorite with an ace-8 against Gus Hansen's King Jack.
He's got to love this position. He's got Gus where he wants him. I think Gus was a little shocked that he called so quickly. We're going to see a flop. Here it comes.
Oh, Jack.
Whoa!
First card off is a jack. Andy is in a daze right now. He knows he needs an ace now to win this pot.
Gus has made a huge flop.
It could come a 9 and a 10. He'll make it straight.
Now there's a 10
Well,
on
there's a
4th
10.
Street.
He can now catch a 9, a club, or an ace to stay alive in this tournament. If he doesn't, he will be our third-place finisher.
Look at Gus is just smiling. He loves the competition. We're going to see the last card coming up. Here's the river.
A 9 will give him a straight. An ace gives him the win. It's not to be. It's a queen.
It's over for Andy Block.
Bang, bang. A left and a right by Gus Hansen to Andy Block right there. Andy Block is our third-place finisher. And Vince, for the second time on the World Poker Tour, Andy Block has finished third.
Oh, man, he is shaking hands there. What can he do? He shrugs. Went in there with an ace-8. How does Gus Hansen come over the top all in with a king-jack? Who knows? Anyway, he's taking the money. Look at those chips.
Well, Gus knows how to play momentum as well as any poker player you'll ever see. He played momentum there. He wins the pot.
One of our
and Andy Block
and a true
goes home in third
Great
position.
job.
He
Another
will take
round of
home
applause for
120.
This is a pretty amazing display of poker. I tell you, if he wins this tournament, he's going to have some interesting phone calls to his buddies back in college. Daniel this time has ace-4 of spades.
Pretty good hand heads up right here. He just calls. That surprised me. Most players would raise in that spot.
Gus Hansen has a terrible hand, a 3-deuce. And look at the flop.
Flop is
Now,
king,
this certainly is no
queen,
help to
nine,
Gus. It
green
comes
ball.
king, queen, 9. And look at Gus. He bets out with a 3-deuce, the worst possible hand you can have. And Daniel folds his cards. Daniel has ace high and lays it down.
Gus bets.
An amazing play right there by Gus Hansen. The bet into that pot.
Look at the little smile by Gus. He knows he had the worst possible hand he could possibly had. He just stole that pot. Gus Hansen. Well, he's got a real shot here of taking this title. It's on Daniel. He's got ace-jack, Mike.
Very nice hand heads up, and he comes in for
Daniel's
50,000.
raising it. Total of
The
40,000.
master of deception has an ace-6 offsuit.
50,000 total.
And look at this. Look at this. He's going to raise it, Mike.
Gus says he's going to
Whoa,
re-raise.
he sure is going to raise it.
50,000, he's going to re-raise.
Let's see how much it is.
100,000.
Another 100,000.
He's going to make it 150,000
Now Daniel
total.
looks back at his ace-jack.
So
It's cost him another 100,000.
Re-raise.
He's in a dominating position right here. He's got ace-jack versus ace-6.
The re-raise is 100,000.
Daniel's got a pretty good hand, and look at this. He's not going to get pushed around. He's going to
And
call
he
it.
calls it. So right now we have ace-jack versus ace-6. There's over 300,000 in the pot. Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of this hand on the World Poker Tour from the Commerce.
Back to the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles, California. We're watching two players go heads up, ace-jack against ace-6. We're going to see a flop. Very intriguing hand about to unfold.
Remember, there's over 300,000 in the pot. Here comes the flop. Flop is ace 9-8. Both players have made the pair, the top pair.
That's right.
The difference is Daniel has a jack kicker, whereas Gus only has a 6 kicker.
This is pretty amazing. This is the kind of hand that makes or breaks you in a tournament. And look at Gus. It's on him to act first. He's thinking about it. He's got a pair of aces. What would you do?
Gus
He's
checks.
checking his 2 aces.
Pocket queens are no good.
And here comes Daniel.
Daniel looking confident.
Daniel's only betting 75,000 at this pot. Now there's over 300,000 in the pot, and yet he's only betting 75,000. Now that's a very peculiarly small bet for a pot this size, I think, at this stage of the tournament. In the meantime, Gus is now scratching his head. What is he going to do with an ace-6 here?
Well, this could be an absolute disaster if he decides to call this. He would be way behind at this point. Look at him scratching his head.
Well, his dilemma is he knows if his opponent's got an ace, he's going to have the worst hand.
This might take a little while.
He's joking around there. Trying to keep a little levity here. Loosen himself up.
He's not joking too much, I don't think. You're talking about serious bucks, and this pot is critical. Well, right now, Daniel Rentzer is a big favorite to win this pot. He has ace-jack. He's up against ace-6. Of course, you don't know how Gus is going to play this hand.
This is a superstar poker player, Gus Hansen. He's won one World Poker Tour event already at Bellagio. Now look at what he's doing with the chips, the riffling of the chips. You see that? If you ever sit down at a poker game and you see someone do that, don't walk, run out of the casino, because that means you're going to lose all your money.
I'm telling you right now, he's in a bucket of boiling water. This is a huge pot developing right here, and Gus is going to call.
He's going to call.
Whoa.
Gus calls the 75,000.
We now have 454,000 in the pot, and Gus is in serious trouble right now.
Here we go. 4-3 coming up.
Next card
Wow,
is
now
a
the
10.
4th street's a 10 of clubs.
Oh, man.
Now this gives Gus the nut flush draw and a straight draw.
And he's going to
Gus
check it.
checks.
Time, please.
Daniel still has the
time.
best hand and an open-end straight draw himself.
All right, go ahead.
And he checks.
He's going to check it, too. Here we go on 5th Street.
So Gus is going to get a free draw at this hand, and he hits a
Start at
6.
six.
Oh, no.
Gus Hansen has made aces and 6s in this pot.
What a killer card for Daniel. He's made aces and 6s. Gus has just pulled a miracle out of his pocket.
He sure has. He was in big trouble when this hand started, and right now, Daniel's in big trouble. Now, it gives Gus aces and 6s, top and bottom pair, but believe me, there's a lot of hands that can beat that right now.
200.
Gus is going to bet.
A healthy bet, too. That's 200,000 he has bet.
That's
Daniel's going to call immediately. Look at this. He's coming in.
Ace is up. It's good.
He says aces. Aces up, aces
Gus
and
turns up
sixes.
aces and
He's got the
sixes.
ace-six of clubs
And
against
Daniel throws the
ace-jack.
ace-jack away.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
That's as bad as it gets there.
Well, you know, I'll tell you,
Pot.
Gus got awful lucky to hit that 6 on the end. But quite honestly, in poker's in life, you make your own breaks. I think Daniel could have played this pot a lot differently. He called the $200,000 at the river before he took his time. There's a lesson there, Vince.
Yeah.
You got to take your time. You got to think. You should review the betting before it's your turn to act. And what a pot that was, Vince. That was an $854,000 pot. That has really turned things around in this match. Gus Hansen takes the chip lead once again in this tournament.
Okay, Daniel has picked up a queen and a 4.
Queen 4 offsuit, but look at
He's
this.
going to call it.
Gus has 2 kings.
Oh, man. 2 cowboys, a real hand, and of course he's going to raise it.
That's $35,000.
Daniel quickly calls it.
I don't like that call, I
This
might
is
add.
called no fold'em hold'em here at the Commerce Club. Let's
right.
see a flop.
Flop comes 9-5-4. Now remember, Gus has 2 kings.
Rainbow.
Daniel has flopped the bottom pair. He has a pair of 4s.
Gus isn't wasting any time here. The big pair looks like he's going to set up and bet. He does. He
He
fires.
bets 30,000.
Bets 30,000.
Now Daniel's got a little pair of 4s, but he's called.
He's called the 30,000.
Here comes 4th Street.
The turn card.
A jack
The
comes
jack
up.
of
Jack
diamonds.
comes up on the turn. No help to either player. Now Gus checks 2 kings there.
Check, check.
Very interesting to me.
And the last card is a 3.
3 of clubs.
It's on Gus again. I think he's trying to trap him here a little bit.
Well, he has a pair of kings.
That's massive on a heads-up game at this point, especially the way these guys have been playing. The thing is, he acts the same way whether he has a good hand or he has a lousy hand. Guy's a great poker face. Can't learn that at home, Mike.
And look at Daniel cocking his head over there.
Daniel's got a silly
One more
pair of
time.
4s.
Here he comes. He bet 60,000.
I hope you're bluffing again.
The glasses go off again, but he's quickly going to call it.
This is a mistake. He calls too quickly here. He fires 60,000 in there. Keeps trying to catch him bluffing. He doesn't do it. One more time. You got nobody to blame but himself for this pot. You just can't keep calling these raises pre-flop with weak hands, trying to hit lightning in the bottle.
In the poker world, we call that tilt. You get one bad play, you come back a little steaming. For some reason, even if you think you're playing it right, you don't.
He dug his own grave in that hand.
He hasn't been the same guy ever since he got outdrawn with that aces and 6s. I mean, his game is much more impatient.
No.
He seems a little bitter, a little hostile inside.
No, you're seeing his inexperience show right now. Let's see if he can gather himself and get back in the hunt here.
You got to be so cautious at this point. One misstep and you're done. They're playing fast. Here we go again.
Daniel's not fooling around anymore. He's picked up a queen 10. He goes all in.
All right.
Gus is going to call him. Gus has picked up ace-jack.
This is going to do it. They're both all in. Ace-jack against queen 10.
Daniel knows he's in trouble now.
Daniel's up on his feet.
It's ace-jack versus
Daniel has
queen 10.
Gus has
Daniel
ace-jack.
stretches, puts his arms behind his head. He knows he's an underdog. Here comes the flop.
Here it comes. Oh, yeah.
The 10 comes on the flop. Daniel has done it so far.
Yeah, he's got a pair of 10s. He's in front. He could double up.
Remember, if he wins this pot, it'll be over 400,000.
That's not going to help Gus any. Daniel's in front.
A big swing here.
He would love to take this pot.
He
He'd be
needs an
right
ace or
back
a
in it.
jack. Whoa, a jack comes at the river.
And
Oh, I can't believe it.
Gus Hansen has hit lightning at the river.
I'd like to congratulate Daniel Rinser.
It's over. Gus has done it. Two-time World Poker Tour champion hits the jack on the river.
Yep, he got lucky at the river there, but he did have the best hand when all the money went in, Vince.
Oh, man, Daniel is devastated on the side. Thought he was going to win that.
Yep. He's a little shell-shocked at the moment. He shrugs his shoulders. He tried his best. It just wasn't good enough today. Give Gus Hansen credit, though. He's a machine gun warrior that keeps firing chips at the pot. Daniel gave it his best go today. He misplayed just one or two hands we thought a little bit that might have cost him. He went on tilt just slightly near the end.
But I'll tell you something exciting. Daniel, good luck. You have another shot at Mr. Hansen because you are in the WPT Championship at Bellagio because Gus has already made it there before, so he's qualified now. He'll take a shot at millions of dollars at the Bellagio. So Gus Hansen has taken the LA Poker Classic. He is truly a legend now in the poker world. This was his second World Poker Tour title. He's picked up over $500,000. And so for Mike Sexton, I'm Vince Van Patten saying, see you next time on the World Poker Tour. And just remember, if you can't spot the sucker at the table, you're it.
So long till next time.